This cowboy hat is going to be at this tournament a lot longer than Scotland.
If you can't go out with Crook and handle the heat, don't go out with Crook.
The manager's poor.
He's a lovely guy.
Got so much talent, he's wasting it.
It's well documented that they had to all gather in Baghdad and they all had to, jump on a bus trip for 20 hours to get to Oman.
Steve Clarke has said it himself. He thinks Scotland are going home. We do as well. In fact, by the time that you watch this podcast, they're probably already on the plane. 3 points, -3 goal difference, and a few days of purgatory waiting on results that are out of their hands. The Tartan Army came to America, and the football did its talking. This is the Inside Channel. I'm Sam Matterface, he's Alex Crook, and we're in New York. Yes, welcome to New York, the Inside Channel, brought to you by Star Sports, our magnificent sponsors. Check them out, starsports.bet. Crookie, we made it all the way to New York City, and look at you. You're still wearing your cowboy hat. What the hell is that all about?
It's not coming off, mate. It's not coming off. A big part of me is still in Dallas. I'm keeping the Texan vibe going all the way through till the final. And this cowboy hat is going to be at this tournament a lot longer than Scotland.
I tell you what, I don't know what needed more of a miracle, actually. You to get through the whole tournament in one piece, bearing in mind that you're having the social experience of your life, or Scotland to escape the purgatory of the last few matches of the knockout, the group stage, and eventually find themselves somehow in the knockout stages. The last time I looked, they had a 5.29% chance of going through to the knockouts. Steve Clarke's coming for a little bit of flack, right? And we'll get into that in a few moments. We're also going to do a preview to England versus Panama. And we've got a proper guest on the show. A former Manchester United coach, a man who is actually coaching at this tournament with Iraq, René Meulensteen, big legend, Dutchman as well. I had a great chat with him. You'll see that very, very shortly. But let's start with Scotland in Miami. I mean, it could already be over. It probably is already over. That Brazil game. I mean, I didn't think it was a great performance, but the talk is about what happened afterwards and the post-match interview. I know that you've got a view on it. I've got a view on it. I just feel like it's a massive missed opportunity for Scotland.
Again, credit to Steve Clarke, qualified for 3 tournaments, stunk the place out of 3 tournaments, not made any impact at 3 tournaments, lucky to beat Haiti. And I think his demeanour and his post-match reactions sort of replicate what we've seen from the team. He's dour, the performances have been dour. If he's watching this, Steve Clarke, you're clearly not enjoying being at the World Cup. Actually, I'll go back to the draw last December. And
he's definitely not doing a crookie, is he?
Well, this is what I'm going to say. I spoke to him in the draw last December, and he looked like he'd rather be anywhere else but Washington. You're lucky to be here, mate. And, if you're not enjoying it, come over to New York. I'll take you under my wing, spend a week in Crookie's American World, and you might just end up with a smile on your face.
Do you know what? When you first got here, I had to take you for a walk, though, to get you back in the game, because your head was very much still in Texas, wasn't it? So we had to have a little bit of a refocusing session. So are you saying that maybe Steve Clarke needs to come over, spend a bit of time with us, and we'll take him on the walk, like I took you on the big walk down the Lower East Side,
absolutely,
over the Brooklyn Bridge, and all of a sudden you became, a native New Yorker. Maybe we need to do the same with Stevie Clarke.
We do. I wouldn't go that far. I'm a native New Yorker, by the way. This place is still too big. Takes too long to get anywhere. The people aren't as friendly as they are in Texas.
Oh.
But I'm enjoying it more than Steve Clarke.
Listen, you have to embrace it. It's the World Cup. You've got it's a difficult thing to be involved in. It's high pressure. It's in a serious manner. We probably need to recognise the fact that this is the first time in 28 years that they've been to the World Cup. And obviously that comes with a serious amount of responsibility. But my view on it is, as you said about missed opportunity, I backed them to get out of the group stages in Germany because of the way the format worked. I backed them to get out of the group stages here because of the way the format worked, and they've done neither. In fact, you could argue since Euro 2021, actually, they've got worse as the tournaments have gone on rather than better, which is a real concern. And I think he's already got a new contract, Steve Clarke, which again is another thing which you think, why did you do that just before the tournament when this happened? But for me, it is the post-match reaction that he gave.
Yeah.
The guys and girls that work in the Scotland camp have had very limited access to the players and the manager during the tournament. It's the first World Cup in most people's living memory. Embrace it, enjoy it, open yourselves up. Hundreds of thousands of people are invested in it, millions of people back home, but there's tens of thousands of people who have spent their life savings coming over to the United States to follow this team, to be part of the Tartan Army. The least he could have done, in my opinion, and I know it's difficult straight after a game when Journalists puts a microphone under your nose. But the least he could have done is say, look, okay, I'm a little bit sort of confused by the performance. I'm upset by it. I'll deal with that at another time. But I just want to say thanks to the fans that have come all the way to America and embraced this tournament and basically spread the Scottish love.
Yeah. And I have to say, the people in Boston took the Scottish fans to their hearts. You know, they drank the bars dry. There was no beer left by the time the English got there. So the fans have done themselves a credit. But I think Steve Clarke has let the nation down. As you say, they've not been here since France 1998. Has he represented Scotland in the best manner? I would argue he hasn't. And you're right, to give him a 4-year contract before a ball is kicked was crazy. And I don't want to say I told you so, but I did. I actually predicted they beat Haiti by a slim scoreline, and then they get knocked out because they lose to the other two teams. And that's exactly what's panned out.
Well, listen, again, we're recording this before the confirmation has come through, but, I mean, we told you the percentage chances. It's absolutely impossible, really, that they'll get through. And even if they do get through, I'm not entirely sure that's a good thing either, because they'll go to Mexico, they'll have to go to Mexico and play...
Germany, is it? Is it Germany, potentially? Or did we bet Mexico?
Yeah. Play Mexico.
Listen, it doesn't matter. They're not going to be there. So, yeah.
I tell you who are going to be there, South Africa. Bafana through to the knockouts. First time that's ever happened. What do you reckon? That's a pretty good achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you look how poor they were in the first game. I mean, that was one of the worst performances we've seen at this World Cup, I think, against Mexico. So, yeah, credit to them for rallying themselves. Their fans have been great. They're not going to go any further, are they? They'll get knocked out in the next round.
Mexico through, as we've already mentioned, with 3 wins in Group A. I think it's really important that the hosts have a great tournament, and Mexico has certainly done that. Canada have been okay as well. But I did the United States versus Turkey.
Good game, that.
It was a brilliant game, Crook. And you know what? Neither had anything to play for, really, apart from pride and momentum. 9 changes for the United States, 7 changes for Turkey. Arda Güler was excellent in the game. Thought it was brilliant. Good little player, lovely little player. Obviously, he's a Real Madrid player and he's a generational talent as far as Turkey are concerned. A little bit disappointed with some of the others in that team over the course of this tournament and the lack of ruthlessness that they've showed. You know, 62 shots on goal before they got their first goal. Then they scored with their first 2 shots on target in that game against the United States. The United States were a much better team right at the beginning of the game. Despite the fact they made all those changes, they went hell for leather. They put them under real pressure. I thought they were absolutely excellent. There's a spirit amongst that team. And I know they lost in the last second of the match, right? So Turkey go home with a little bit of extra pride, which is good because, you know, that they've got a batch of young players, which I think in the future will end up doing well. But for the United States, it was an entertaining match that captured everybody again.
Yeah.
And I think that's being here and going into bars and looking at all the TVs with all this, what they call soccer, what we call football, on everywhere.
Yeah.
It's important that it's engaging, and they are engaging.
Yeah, and you look at the way the draws opened up for them. Bosnia in the round of 32. They've got a winnable fixture, I think, after that in a round of 16. There's every chance they emulate what they did in 2002 and reach a quarter-final. And as you say, just walking around here last night, actually, on my way to the darts, which was great fun at Madison Square Garden, all of the bars, you know, had the football on and people were genuinely engaged with it. And that wasn't necessarily the case at the start of the tournament.
So while I was working on Turkey versus USA, you were going to the darts.
I was networking, yeah.
Yeah. So I was working, you were networking.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like our life, isn't it?
David Bentley was in great form.
Was he?
He was. Honestly, you thought my shirt was Larry.
Oh, I saw the
you
picture.
You should see his suit.
You should send that to the guys so we can put that on the YouTube channel so you can see it, just how bad that clothing
but
choice was.
I feel a little bit guilty, by the way.
Why?
Because obviously the first round of fixtures was meant to be the PDC players against the locals. All the PDC players were supposed to progress.
Yeah.
They all did apart from Josh Rock.
Ah.
And he was out with me until 2 o'clock in the morning the night before.
So it's your fault?
Maybe.
Also, if I remember rightly, there was a producer who's supposed to be a chaperone for Stuart Pearce and take him to the studio today. He was also out with you and he didn't turn up for work the next day.
No, he didn't.
So that's...
I think my Fagin nickname from Germany has resurfaced.
That's a little bit naughty. If you can't go out with Crook and handle the heat, don't go out with Crook. That's a good
rule for life.
They are the rules. Maybe we shouldn't bring Steve Clarke to New York just in case. We don't want to send him over the edge.
Imagine Steve Clarke out with me in an Irish bar until 2 a.m.
Imagine Steve Clarke becomes sort of like a major rebel and ends up stumbling out of a nightclub at 4 a.m. just because he spent one night with you. Eminently possible.
That's the content we're here for.
Right, okay. So much to look forward to, including the England game. Let's just a quick word from our sponsors, Star Sports. Starsports.bet is the place to find them, because if you want to back England, that's the best place to go. They're best price England throughout the course of the tournament. They're the UK's leading independent bookmaker. Check them out at starsports.bet. It's 18 plus at begambleaware.org if you need gambling advice. Right, let's get to our big interview, because a man who's certainly enjoyed himself at this tournament has got an interesting perspective of what it's like taking a minnow to a 48-team World Cup. A man who worked with Sir Alex Ferguson, who's worked with Cristiano Ronaldo, who's been several World Cups with different nations, giving us a unique perspective on what this tournament means. He's also played against Haaland and Mbappe already. It is René Meulensteen. I'm delighted to say the former Manchester United assistant manager and current assistant manager of Iraq here at the World Cup in 2026, René Meulensteen, is here. Hello, René. How are you?
I'm very well, Sam. Yeah, very good.
Are you enjoying the World Cup as an experience? It's an amazing tournament, isn't it, when you think about it? 48 different countries competing, spread across 3 different countries. Have you enjoyed the experience so far?
I have very much, apart from a few moments, which I will explain a little bit later. But obviously, it's my second consecutive World Cup. Obviously, I've been in Qatar 4 years ago, which I thought was an unbelievable experience as well, because of the benefits you had it being held in a small country, where you had no travel distances, etc. So in America, it's obviously slightly different. You are in the plane after every 4 or 5 days, traveling and recovering and everything. But overall, I've enjoyed watching all the games, the fans, the turnout, the experience. It's absolutely magnificent. The only 2 things that I was alluding to that was maybe not as good as an experience is that we've obviously played with Iraq against Norway, losing 4-1 in hindsight. You look back that it was never a 4-1 game. I thought the boys equipped them really, really well in a very good structure, defensive structure. But if you make mistakes like we did in that game, costing us the second goal, and that exactly happened the same in the France game a few days ago. So that is the real disappointing thing, because I believe the boys would have deserved more out of it. But other than that, it's been a great experience for all.
Okay. 1986 was the last time that Iraq were at a World Cup. You won the Champions League with Manchester United and the Premier League titles at Manchester United. Where does taking Iraq, being part of that setup of a coaching team that takes Iraq to a World Cup, sit on your CV?
Well, very highly, Sam, because you need to think every achievement that you get, wherever you're working for, you need to see it in the right perspective. And winning the Premier League with Manchester United was, and obviously, a feat in itself, because it's the hardest league to win over so many games. The same with the Champions League. But taking Iraq after 40 years, because we've encountered completely different challenges throughout, our tenure over more than 12 months to be with Iraq to get them where they are, and obviously it only happened on the final day playing against Bolivia in Mexico to make it happen. But to achieve that, to give the players that joy of achievement going to the World Cup, and give the nation, something to draw a lot of energy from, to take a lot of hope from, and also to be something to be proud of for years to come, which is an amazing achievement.
It was an amazing achievement. And just explain what it was like. There's that continental playoff that you had to play back in March, which sent you to the World Cup. What was that experience like? Did you feel the pressure of 47 million Iraqis on your shoulders? How did it feel for you and the players?
I never really felt that, Sam, because I'm sort of in the game a long time, and I've seen most of the things already. The key was for us to get the players in the right frame of mind, because also of the ongoing conflict that was going on, the challenges that they had to even get out of Iraq. I think it's well documented that they had to all gather in Baghdad, and they all had to, jump on a bus trip for 20 hours to get to Amman, and then there were delays there, and it took them actually 3 days to get to Monterrey in Mexico. We then had to address that conflict to making sure that everybody was in the right frame of mind to basically then start to get the focus on the game, the important game that we had to play. But as a lot of people don't really know, is that the game against Bolivia was our 21st World Cup qualifier. 21st game. And if you see that in perspective and you look back to how many games the European nations have to play to qualify, that is between 6, 8, or maybe if you go in the playoffs, 10 games. So that is a little, a thing that baffles me for a start. But what it did do along the way, because we had a few other World Cup qualifiers where we could have qualified in Saudi Arabia, where we just missed out on a goal. Then we had the important games against the UAE. But what it did do, it built the team, it gave the team more resilience. And I felt in the lead up to that game in Bolivia, it was a really good training camp. The players were really good. The focus was good. The atmosphere was brilliant. And everybody felt that we were going to do it. And, and it's great to see that happened.
You've drawn probably the toughest group that you could have drawn in the World Cup. France, Senegal, Norway. You knew that when you qualified against Bolivia, where you were going to land. What have you made of the opponents that you played so far?
Well, we knew we were up against tough opponents with obviously incredible individuals, starting with Norway with obviously one of the best strikers in the world with Haaland. You give him half a chance and he puts in the back of the net. You could see that in the first goal. But if you look at those teams, Norway, France and Senegal, you look at the players, where they play, what countries they play, what clubs they play for. You look at the market value, what they have, those players, that ranges between 500 million and close to 2 billion. And Iraq doesn't even touch 20 million. So those are the things you need to see in perspective. We then have to come up with a plan and again, get the players in the right frame of mind to play those games, give them a good structure, a good defensive structure. And that was the disappointing thing, because we really felt we played some really good stuff, we scored a great equalizer. And if we would have taken that game into the dressing room 1-1, that would have given the players a lot of energy, a lot of belief to come out the second half. And then we could have got something out of the game. But the blunder we made, the mistake we made for the second goal really deflated everybody, during the dressing room. So it was hard, although I did think we still played well the second half, but not good enough to turn it around.
You then came up against Mbappe and France. Obviously, you've played against two of the best strikers in the world right now. When you look at those two, can you see France and the structure that they've got in the team and the way that Didier Deschamps has sort of changed it from the first half against Senegal to the second half against them, and then for the match against you? Can you see them going the distance?
Yes, I certainly can, because they will all step up, Matt. Whatever everybody says now about France, it's not a team, there's a poor structure. Listen, I think Didier Deschamps would have said when we play in Iraq, listen, if you can't beat Iraq 2-3, 4-0, then you're not even have the right to become world champions. They've got so much individual talent on show, so much pace, so much individual skill. If they will step up. The moment when it really matters, there will be a structure. They've got still, some good defenders there in Saliba and Upamecano. They got Rabiot in the midfield. It's just that they need to just click, that they need to make sure that in defensive transition, they just need to close the spaces off a little bit better, because I felt that with Iraq, we still managed to keep the ball, quite well in certain spells of the game. And that's us, that's Iraq. But if you come up against, different nations, like Spain, Germany, England, Holland, maybe, it will be a different task altogether.
What has it been like for you? A lot has been made of the issues with immigration and coming in and out of the country. We know Iran have had problems where they've had to stay in Mexico and they can only get quickly into America to play their games. Have there been any such restrictions on Iraq? Have you found it difficult or easy to move around?
Actually very, very easy, and it was the whole process really for us to get into. We flew into Chicago. It was very straightforward and easy. Obviously, it is well documented that obviously Ayman Hussein was held a little bit longer by the security services and asked a few more questions, and a photographer was sent home. I think that is something that you could have anticipated, but everything everything was fine in the end. Ironman has obviously been good for us. He's played for us. And no problem at all. And in terms of flying around from going to city, it's been really, really easy to do.
You followed Graham Arnold from Australia to Iraq. What is it about your partnership that made you say yes to a job that other people might not have taken?
Well, first of all, there's a really good click between us. We have obviously we're similar age, but more importantly, where I felt that when I was working for Sir Alex Ferguson, it was more a father-son relationship. This is more like a brother relationship, so to speak. But we think alike. We like to play a similar style of football. We're complementary to each other. Like I said, there's a lot of similarities, but there's also things that are different. Obviously, what I've brought to Australia now with Iraq as well as having that expertise to having worked at the very highest level with the top players. So I know what is required and where what standards have to be met. So yeah, so more importantly, we've enjoyed the journey. We take plenty of time off together to make sure that we can reflect and review, but more than anything, have a good time together. And we do love a laugh together, and that is, I think, the secret of us being such a good partnership.
Like, you're a proud Dutchman, as well as being someone who's coached other nations too. What have you made of the Dutch side at this World Cup so far?
Well, I think they finally showed their true colours against the game against Sweden. I thought against Japan, where I envisaged a difficult game, in case Holland would stick to the similar sort of, a bit of slowish type of play. Obviously Japan set them up defensively really well and tried to hit them on the counter, which they did, and obviously they conceded 2 goals. Obviously Holland scored twice, but overall the general opinion wasn't great about that performance. I think Koeman took a bit of criticism regarding his substitutions that he made, because he basically took all the pace that we so badly needed up front away from the team, and that stifled the team a bit. But there has been a really positive reaction against Sweden. I always felt that Holland needs to play in a far quicker rhythm, move the ball quicker, which they did against Sweden. There was more pressure. There was earlier balls in the box, which obviously Robbie converted to 2 great crosses. So that is the route that they have to take. They got good individuals, they got good players, but they need to keep playing in a quick tempo. If they don't do that, then I think it'll be difficult for them.
Finally, before I let you go, what's it like for you, not only being the assistant coach of Iraq, but also looking up on your TV screens around this massive, vast nation, seeing your daughter sitting there presenting the live coverage for Fox? She's doing a great job, mate.
Yeah, she is, and I'm so proud, and so is my wife and her brothers. It's great. I watch every moment she's on TV. I've obviously watched it, and I find it comes so natural to her, and it's great to see that she like we both at the World Cup. That's the second World Cup for both of us, but it's great that she's doing a great job.
Yeah, she is. She really is. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. It's great to see you, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Absolutely, Sam. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
2 great things from the post-interview chat with René. One was the fact that his daughter, René Meulensteen, used to be a commentator, now presenter at Sky, you'll know from that, but she's also working for Fox out here in the United States. Big friend of ours. Brilliant. She's doing a fantastic job. So we wish her all the best. And the second thing is that afterwards we he's not going to talk about it on camera, but he talked a little bit about Cristiano, and he said to me, I have had a long discussion with him previously where I've said to him, don't try to do everything.
Yeah.
Let the team do stuff for you and it will come to you. And very much that is Cristiano Ronaldo's modus operandi at this World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. I still think Argentina are better at doing it for Messi than Portugal are for doing it for Ronaldo. But yeah, I mean, listen, what a guy, René Meulensteen. Part of the glory years. Fantastic company, and yeah, another brilliant interview on the Inside Channel.
And do you know what he said to me? He said, don't tell everyone, but I do love listening to you and Crookie. I love the banter.
There you go. He's a good judge as well.
England drew 0-0 with Ghana in Boston, top of the group, but it was a little bit flat, 78.8% of the ball, no goal. I mean, I think that's the most possession a side has had at the World Cup without winning or scoring. Panama isn't a dead rubber. It's a chance to put the swagger back, isn't it?
Yeah, and some big decisions to be made by Thomas Tuchel. I think ideally they'd have beaten Ghana and he made wholesale changes for this game. Obviously, the fact we didn't beat Ghana, there's still some jeopardy. He can't do that. I'm hearing that Gerald Quansah is going to come in at right back, which is slightly baffling.
Why is it baffling? If Reece James is injured,
Well,
he's the next cab off the rank, and Thomas Tuchel was sat in front of us and told us that.
It's slightly baffling that he picked Tino Livramento and Reece James, knowing they've both had big injury problems over the course of the last couple of years. And you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I think will get into any other squad at this World Cup, presumably sat on a beach somewhere, watching from afar. And we're going.
You know why that is?
I do, but we're going into a game that we need to win to top the group without a recognised right back.
Yeah, but you're forgetting that the reason that he wants it is for squad harmony, and he thinks that actually, if I rest Reece James now, he'll be back for the rest of the tournament. I can put Quansah in, he'll do a job for me, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's Panama.
He probably will, and it is Panama, but let's not take anything for granted. I actually think they played okay, Panama, and you talked me out of a bet, if you remember, at the start of the tournament.
I did.
Which was Panama to get nil points. And I think it was about 3-1 at the time.
It was.
And you said, well, they've beaten the USA a couple of times in recent years.
They have.
They're no mugs. They're on nil points, aren't they?
But they should have got something out of the Ghana game. It was only stupid defending. That geezer who went diving in like a lunatic right at the very end, and they would have got a point.
But they're not going to get a point out of this, you wouldn't imagine.
We would hope not.
But it's interesting to see what other changes he makes. I think Nico O'Reilly comes back in at left back.
Yep.
So that would be Jed Spence making
A
way.
change in midfield, probably.
Kobe Mainu coming in for Declan Rice, potentially. And I think Bukayo Saka will start.
Anthony Gordon is the big debate. Everyone's screaming for Marcus Rashford to start. I think he's had 2 difficult games. He was wasteful against Ghana. Just the one decent cross where he cuts in on his right foot, pulls it into the box. Not a great cross, but an okay cross.
Yeah.
Apart from that, not too much. Do you expect Rashford to come back in? The problem with Rashford, I find, is I always think he's better when he comes off the bench.
I tend to agree. However, he does look like he's fired up. You know, I thought when he came on against Ghana, it was the only time England really had them on the back foot. I think he's annoyed that Anthony Gordon has not only taken his Barcelona's place, but he's now taken his England place. So I think he deserves to start, but I think he needs to deliver, because you're right. History tells us that when he starts going for England, he doesn't have as much impact as when he comes on.
So if O'Reilly does start, do you think there's any case for putting Morgan Rogers into one of those advanced positions so that he can sort of almost tuck inside a little bit,
Maybe
become a sort of extra number 10, and you can have O'Reilly going on the outside? Because O'Reilly's brilliant at going up and down, isn't he?
Yeah, something else he will consider.
Or there's the other thing where O'Reilly comes into midfield and you do play an out-and-out winger who hugs the touchline, which is what Gordon does.
You think he might put O'Reilly in midfield, didn't you, for his physicality?
I do worry about the physicality of Panama. I did mention to you Gold Cup, Copa America and Nations League in the last 3 years. They've beaten the United States of America in every single one of those. So, I mean, they're not mugs.
Yeah.
But they've got nothing to play for. They're going out.
Yeah.
You know, England should get the job done. And I think they'll probably win. I think they'll probably win quite well.
What are you thinking?
No, I'll tell you later on. Any else, other rotation that they need to do? This is a game that you can afford to do too much rotation, bearing in mind you need to get the points.
I think what I'd like to see, actually, is a settled team. I almost feel like he's used too many players. I think he's used the maximum number of subs in the first 2 games.
Which you always would do.
Well,
why would you not use the maximum number of subs?
I just think it becomes a little bit disjointed. Do we know the best 11 yet, 2 games in?
Yeah, I think we've got a good idea.
Have we?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more baffled now than I was at the start of the tournament.
I think we know that Saka will play on the right-hand side of the attack eventually. Kane will lead the line, and we think that Gordon will play from the start. Because I think his industry without the ball is more important to Thomas Tuchel than necessarily his creativity with it.
That's fair.
I think Rashford is good coming off the bench and he's an impact player, and that's where they'll use him. I think the number 10 position is Jude Bellingham's. I think the 2 holding midfield players are Anderson and Rice.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would argue about that.
How fit is Rice, though?
But that is the best team.
Yeah.
You asked
Okay.
me for the best team.
All right.
Right, the right back is James when he's fit, which he will be after this game.
Yeah.
They're going to play Konza and Gay, hopefully. I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
And they'll play Nico O'Reilly at left back and Jordan Pickford's a goalkeeper. So you do know the best team, don't you?
So moving forward then, after this knockout round, that's the team we want to see starting every game.
Pretty much, but I also think it's different folks for different strokes. Do you know what I mean? You know, as soon as you come up against a low block team, you need a slightly different profile of player. when you're playing against someone who stretches the game out, England have got a game plan to deal with that, which bypasses the midfield. So I do think there's also that tactical adjustment. I mean, you can't have a go at Thomas Tuchel for making changes and bringing 5 substitutes into the game and then spend the last 2.5 years complaining that Gareth Southgate never affected a game.
No.
You know, it's one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're gonna, of course it's going to be disjointed at times, but you've got to trust the manager to make those changes. And I think Thomas Tuchel is more than adept at doing that.
I just think there's holes in the squad, and we picked them out before the tournament, actually, because he bought too many defenders because he was worried about Livramento and Reece James getting injured. I still don't really understand the Chalobah call-up. I don't think he's going to play a minute, is he, at this tournament?
Well, he might do. What if he plays right back tomorrow night? Or centre-back? Sometimes he goes to right back?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. No space for Adam Morton. It was used. No, I thought could have impacted that game.
Yeah.
No space for Morgan Gibbs-White.
Well,
After all the goals and assists he got last season.
we have said if out of all of the
Yeah.
players that deserved a call-up and didn't get one, he would feel the most aggrieved because his performances were stellar. He couldn't have done anything more.
And even Cole Palmer, to bring that X factor when you're struggling in a game. So, yeah, I didn't love the squad before the tournament, and I definitely don't love it now.
Okay, 2 things to focus on. England so far have been a second-half team. 86% of their shots on target have come after the break. The XG jumped from 0.89 in the first half to 2.88 in the second.
Wasn't that also the case in a lot of the qualifying games?
Yeah.
Didn't score their goals in the second half.
Yeah. So I mentioned in commentary during the first game of this tournament, the big weapon is Declan Rice's deliveries from corners. He's put 16 corners into the box already, the most by an England player at a World Cup group stage since David Beckham in 2006. So I think there's every chance that a goal comes from a corner in this.
And that
game.
might be a factor in selection as well, because if you take Declan Rice out of the team, then you lose that weapon.
Absolutely. But you've got Saka back.
Yeah.
Kane a bit isolated against Ghana, just 19 touches. He was kind of man-marked out of it, and also they sat on Elliot Anderson, which I thought just disrupted the tempo a little bit. Look, I think England will win, and you can get them at best price with Star Sports. Starsports.bet is the place to get that. They've got the best value on England throughout the course of the tournament. Remember, it's over 18s only, and you can find them at starsports.bet. England have had a clean sheet in the final group game in 11 of their last 13 major tournaments.
Good stat.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm leaning into. Right, let's talk about some of the upcoming fixtures. France, Norway later on today. I don't think we should go into it too much detail because most people will know the result by the time they see this. But it's Mbappe against Haaland. Someone asked me actually whether or not I thought this would be like a duel of the future stars. And I said, the only problem you've got with this is that although you've got 2 of the best strikers in the world, Haaland doesn't really have the same backup level that Mbappe
No, he
has.
doesn't. No. You're right there. I do think it'll be a goal fest, though. I think Norway have shown already they've got plenty of attacking potency. France are going to score goals for fun. So I'm really looking forward to watching this one.
Colombia versus Portugal is a good game, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Although,
Luis Diaz against Ronaldo.
yeah, I was going to say Colombia have been a surprise package, but they haven't really, have they? Because I think a few of us thought they would have a decent
mentioned
tournament.
them,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they might win. I think it might be Portugal.
Well, Portugal actually seem to have great players, but they just don't. I wasn't blown away with them. Do you know the team that I think will end up going deeper than I thought they would? Yeah. The Netherlands.
Yeah. Defensively strong, plenty of goals. But in terms of Portugal, I know he's your mate, but manager's poor.
He's everybody's mate. He's a lovely guy.
Manager's poor.
He's a lovely guy.
Got so much talent, he's wasting
He
it.
won the Nations League. How can he be poor?
He's poor.
He won the FA Cup.
I mean, you're going back some time there, aren't you?
13 years.
He won the FA Cup on the Saturday and got relegated on the Tuesday.
Talking of bad performances, tipping competition time. How are you getting on? Have you hit the crossbar again?
How did Japan not win that game?
Did I win again?
You had a tap-in treble.
Which was a bigger price than yours.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was.
It was.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was.
It was.
Steward's inquiry.
No, it was.
I've actually changed my selection for this.
Oh, you bottled it. So basically, I had a treble.
Yeah.
Brazil, Morocco, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Did it come in?
It may have done.
Right, okay. And what was yours?
Japan to beat Sweden.
Get off your phone.
I'm looking at my bet. Japan to beat Sweden.
And what happened there?
1-1, wasn't it?
Ah.
They led. I was quite excitable when they led. Long way to go, marathon, not a sprint, as they say.
Just have a look. While you are looking at your phone, could you just give me these totals? What does it say there?
So you're 10 points
I'm
up.
10 points up.
And I'm 24 and a half down.
You're 24 and a half down. That's quite a big gap. Isn't it?
Yeah, but as our producer Joe said, it's going to be all important, or Adam said it, not over until the launch episode bets are settled.
Okay.
Who did you go for as your dark horse?
Uruguay. Who did you go for?
Japan.
Yeah.
Who did you go for as your winner?
Spain.
France.
Yeah. It's not going to make that much of a difference, really, I don't think.
Well, we shall see.
I mean, right now, I'm USA and you're Scotland.
Yeah, I've done a Steve Clarke. Well, no, I've lost money with a smile on my face.
Oh, dear. Okay, so we're going into the last round of fixtures. What are you going for?
Well, I was going to go for England to win to 0 and Belgium to win, but I realised the odds would have been quite skinny. So I've been slightly more ambitious because producer Ollie told me that if Algeria and Austria draw, both go through. So I've gone for the draw.
Okay, you committed to that now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If Austria lose, they avoid Spain in the next round of the competition and both go through anyway.
So you think Austria are going to throw the game?
I didn't say they were going to do that. I'm just telling you the scenario.
I'm going draw.
Austria have got history, by the way. The disgrace
I remember.
final group.
I remember,
You don't
yeah, yeah.
remember. It was 1982. You were just about born.
Yeah, but I remember hearing the stories.
Gijón, the disgrace of Gijón. They lost 1-0 to West Germany, and it meant that Algeria, funnily enough, were eliminated.
Wow.
And now they're in that sort of similar situation. So you've gone for a draw in that game?
I've gone for a draw.
Okay, so I am going to go for England to win, 2-0,
Yeah.
Harry Kane to score.
Oh, my. I mean, not much ambition there, is there?
This is about winning, isn't it?
I'd love it if he took Harry Kane out the starting lineup.
He won't.
Give Ivan Toney a game, Thomas. Come on.
Right, okay, we'll keep going. And as it says here, nap, Sam's nap, and that's the nap of the week. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Star Sports Bet, for supporting our podcast. They've been great to us since we've been in the United States. They're the UK's leading independent bookmaker, and throughout the World Cup, they are best price England in every one of their matches. If you're backing the boys, that's where you need to be. Sports, casino, live casino and virtuals, all under one roof. Head to startsports.bet to get involved. You must be 18 or over to bet. For tools and resources around safer gambling, please visit gambleaware.org. We're both going to the England game tomorrow, aren't we?
We are.
And then we'll have a debrief on that on Sunday, which will be good. Hopefully we'll get to do that together again. You're not going off anywhere else, are you?
Well, it's my wife's birthday on Sunday and she's flying over. We are doing a river cruise with dinner.
You're
welcome to join us.
The podcast.
What should we do it on there? She wouldn't mind.
Should I come on her birthday dinner and we'll do the podcast? She could film it for us, to be fair.
Yeah, well, she needs to earn her plane ticket.
Thank you very much. If you are enjoying the podcast, tell all your friends about it. It's just two mates on the road in America giving you the access that we're lucky enough to have. Subscribe, follow, leave us a comment. It genuinely helps, and we really appreciate all the comments that we've had, actually. Thank you very much. Keep telling your friends about us. Next time, we are into the knockouts. England-Panama reaction coming, and we'll be across the round of 32 draw. The tournament gets real. For Alex Crook, for me, thank you very much for listening. See you on the other side of the group stage.
Good, mate.